Yo, what's going on, guys? It is me. It's the MATT, back with you with my big bro.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Hope everyone's having a great Thursday. We're a day closer to the weekend, and that means we have some AEW to talk about.
Good picture in the background, bro.
Yeah, a little AEW.
Yeah, I like that.
Right there.
Right there. Yep, right there.
Little decoration, trying to make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to everyone out there, and TikTok and Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and wherever else you guys are watching us on this beautiful gray Michigan January afternoon.
What you got? What kind of temperature you got up there, bro?
35 degrees.
It's kind of gray here, 75. So
I'd take gray and 75 over gray and 35.
all
Hey,
right,
new background. We got the old one. We got the old set from the Zoom days.
Yeah. I figured out how to get a background now there. So
got the Sting logo, the Sting feel to it.
Look for some more backgrounds coming up, so we're good.
So yeah, we're still in the process of playing with the StreamYard, trying to get it where we want it to be. And again, everyone who tunes in every week or watches us on all these platforms every week, thank you so much. We're just two guys. I mean, we're not here to make money. I'm in no way, shape, or form planning on leaving my 9 to 5 job, or the 4 a.m. to 12:30 job that I have. It's just us talking wrestling 2 days a week. I mean, I'd love to do it every day, but it's just not capable of doing. Anyway, so we can jump into what happened yesterday as a wrestling whole with the whole Saudi thing. We could talk about that. We can go into the fact that Vince McMahon is getting sued by a gentleman in Connecticut for various reasons. Or we can just go right into Dynamite.
Let's talk about Vince, man. Let's talk about Vince and all the crap that he is trying to pull, and so
I mean, Vinnie Mac, is he thinking he's untouchable, or I don't.
Well, let's talk about he ever since I've known him, not known him, but I've seen him on TV, he acts like he's untouchable. He thinks he's the shit, and he's got a lot of power. Don't get me wrong when it comes to the wrestling world, but is he that? I think he might think he's that bad of a dude.
You said that you think that, like, does he think he's the shit? I tell you what, his product is the drizzling shit.
Monday's product looked like shit. It was horrible.
But thing is, he supposedly wasn't involved with creative on Monday. It walked like Vince, it talked like Vince, and it stunk like Vince.
All the way around. I mean, Stephanie leave. Go ahead, sorry.
I mean, Stephanie leaving, I don't know what that's all about.
I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future we find more out about that and how that plays out. So,
I mean, I hope so. I really do. And that the whole him getting sued because he used this gentleman in Connecticut says that he used his 81% as leverage to get back onto the board of directors, and that could be deemed I don't know that. I don't know all. I'm paraphrasing, guys. So don't come at me. I don't have the stuff right here in front of me. I am not a Dave Meltzer. I'm not a professional. I'm not Ariel Helwani. I am just the MATT trying to sort through all this as a fan. So I don't know the details, but there's something shifty about that and about what he did. Again, I don't know details. I don't know exactly like the legal terms or the legality of the whole situation. I just know that this gentleman in Connecticut is going after Vince for inappropriate actions. That's all I know.
Well, let's face it. When he stepped away, anybody that thought he was out of it completely was crazy. He probably he was gone for 2 months, and he probably then realized, oh wait, I want the money. I want part of this again. And what way to get you? If he owns 81% of the company, he has a lot of pull, and that doesn't surprise me that he worked his way back through the loopholes to get back into the board of of directors. So.
I'm not okay. So I told as a father of a wrestling fan, I felt that Andrew should know that the McMahon family will not be owning the company. Probably by the end of 2023, the McMahons will not own the WWE. It's the way that it's trending. I could be wrong. But I don't think I am. I think he'll be gone. The WWE will be under new ownership by the end of 2023, early 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a dad of a 10-year-old boy who loves pro wrestling, like every day comes home, we either watch wrestling on Peacock, or we're playing WWE 2K22, or we're in his room playing with his wrestlers. Now, telling him, hey, listen, this is what's going on. I'm just wanting to let you know that the McMahon family aren't trying to sell this. He looked at me yesterday because he asked me if anything happened, and I didn't go into great detail over the whole Saudi Arabia thing, but I was like, they had a scare earlier that they said that, hey, this was potentially happening. It's a done deal. It just has to be the logistics had to be worked out. And he goes, what? I go, but it ended up being just rumors and falsely rumored. And he goes, okay, good. And he goes, you know what, Dad? Vince don't care about us as the WWE universe. He goes, he doesn't care. I go, okay, what are you trying to say? He goes, he just doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care about what we want. And I'm like, you're right, he doesn't. He hasn't cared for a long time. And he cares about selling his product. He is a businessman first. He can care less if we enjoy it. It's his company. If he thinks it's good product, then he's going to spoon feed it to us and shove it down our throats each week. And he doesn't care, because I'm sure he's had people. I'm sorry, I'm going on this long rant, guys. It just feels like I'm sure he's had people in his ears saying, Vince, this is garbage. I'm sure he has. But he continued going in the direction he was going. Now that we have Triple H in trying to right the ship, and then he rights the ship to the point where it's watchable, and then Vince is like, hold on, fella. This is mine still. You're not going to just... I want to make sure they know who I am, kind of thing. It's like, Vinny, we know who you are.
Right.
Just fade away.
Right. I think, that's the difference between Triple H and Vince is, Triple H was a wrestler, in-ring wrestler. And those guys are probably, let's be real, all the promoters, all owners of companies are more interested than what's in the money. And they're interested in getting asses in seats. They don't care who sits in those seats.
Yeah.
They just want to get that money. Okay, we sold out WrestleMania. Blah, 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 or whatever. I mean, not a lot of owners do you see in anything, do they care about the fans? They care about the money, the pocketbook. But the athletes, I think, are the ones that care the most. So you got Triple H, and he sees the garbage that his dad put, or his father-in-law put out, or whatever, and he knows that it affects the fans. So as part of an ex-wrestler or a retired wrestler, he's going to right the ship, and he wants to put out what fans want. The wrestlers are the ones listen to people, listen to the fans. They don't. Tony Khan. I mean, I don't think Tony Khan, if he sees green, that's what he cares about. He don't care. I mean, look, and this is going to sound like I'm changing my mind, but like you said, back when that stupid scrum happened, he didn't give a shit, or it appeared he didn't, or he would have fixed it or stopped it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
he just cared about what was going to put money or views in the seats. That's all.
At that point, he thought, well, shoot, we're going to have ourselves. Everyone's going to be talking about it, which everyone was.
It did, yeah. But as far as the product goes, I think Vince is the same way. He doesn't care. He's more about what's going to help Vince last the next 8 years of his life, or however long he has. What's going to be best for him? It's not what's best for business anymore.
No.
It's what's best for Vince. And it's sad.
He's 77 years old.
Yeah.
He's 77 years old. Think about this. Ric Flair is 72.
Mm-hmm.
Vince is 5 years older than Ric Flair.
Right.
That blows my mind.
I mean, yeah, I just don't know. I know as older people go, they want to set up their legacy for their family and stuff like that. So is he selling it to set up a future for his family so they're set? I don't know.
Look,
I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's the thing that maybe Stephanie doesn't want it. Maybe Shane don't want it. So maybe it's one of those things where they had a meeting with the family and said, all right, Shane, do you want it? No. Steph, do you want it? No. Okay, then we'll move on and I'm going to sell it.
That could have possibly happened. So we'll see. My biggest fear is I would like, it's at the unknown of, will we be watching WWE in the future?
Hold on. I have a breaking news. Breaking news. From breaking news, WWE has sold the company to David Arquette.
Nice. The WCW champion. There you go.
The greatest WCW champion.
That's what I'd sell it to. He has the fans, and the fans best.
Yeah, he has the dinero to do that.
I just don't know. I mean, it's a waiting game. I mean, how much hype did they receive when the rumors came out about Saudi Arabia? That was talked about. Until
Ariel Helwani came out and said, "No, you jackasses, stop it."
But what did that do to the stock market and all that crap?
Well, that's the thing that blows my mind. You would think it sold, the stock would be up here and go, right?
Oh,
It kept climbing.
right.
Got up, I want to say it got up to $90 a share yesterday.
It did.
It's like, are you, wow.
Yeah. Absolutely 100%. You know, and then I'd like to see what happened. I'd like to see what it is now. Now that that didn't happen.
I'm sure it dropped a little bit. I'm sure it dipped under 90.
89.34.
Okay, so it went down.
Yeah, so
it didn't even it went down like 75 cents.
Yeah. So,
but it's still over $80 a share, and that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
You
know, and everybody's like freaking out. And I was talking about this with a bunch of people here at where I work. You know, this Pensacola Road to WrestleMania. What could this do? What could it have done if the Saudis would have bought the WWE? What could it have done to the event we were going to? I mean,
well, you would assume, excuse me, that they would have had them fulfill their bookings.
Right. You would have thought. You'd hope.
But if that were to have happened, and that's the thing. Like everyone, like, oh my God, they sold to the Saudis, so they're going to move everything over. No, they are not going to move everything over there, because that Saudi investment group, they own LIV Golf.
Right. Yeah.
Where does LIV Golf spend most of their summer?
Orlando.
Here in the States.
Yeah.
Where they also own a bunch of teams in the English Premier League for soccer.
Right.
English Premier League, England.
Yep.
The UK. They didn't say, all right, you're going to come over here. We're going to move all of these teams over to Saudi Arabia. No.
Right.
They want the asset. They are a business. They just want assets. They are buying up assets and using it.
Right.
And if they turn it private, you know.
That's my question to you, man. What do you see when you hear the word they're going to turn it private? What does that mean?
It's not a publicly traded company anymore.
Right. But it's private, meaning they're not going to show it on TV anymore. Are they going to show it on just Saudi TV? What's that mean as far as TV goes?
And it's basically, if they take it private, I think it will go back to, I don't know. I really don't know what I think would happen. I think it would end up going to a deal where it is maybe, because it would be more of a Tony Khan, it would be the AEW type of event.
Okay.
Because AEW is not publicly traded.
Okay.
A private company is, so if I'm Vince and I said, all right, well, I'm not publicly traded anymore, and I'm and all that, and go through the legal steps that way of getting my company private, I could potentially turn to you're Tony Khan, and be like, I'll sell it to you.
Okay. Gotcha.
But
so yeah, that's that. Before we jump into AEW, you got this moment in history?
No, we'll do that. We'll do that after.
Okay.
I gotta look that up. Actually.
Okay. So AEW, man, you know, after seeing the mess that Raw put out, I was super excited to see what AEW is going to do, and they did not disappoint whatsoever. I mean,
they came out swinging.
Yeah, they came out swinging. I mean, they start the match. Whenever you see those barbed wires and you hear Moxley's music, I pop for that all the time. I'm like, yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, and Moxley, he's that guy that will do whatever he needs to do for the business. And those two men in that ring last night, Hangman and Mox, they put on a freaking massive bagger of a match. Hard hitters. I was super pleased with that.
I don't know if Mox was really just overselling that or what, but
Well, man, that last buckshot lariat, holy frick! That's a massive clothesline, and I mean I wrote this down before I came on. I said, did he sell that concussion? If he did, props to him, applaud him all day long.
yeah,
That dude, he needs a vacation. He needs a break. Is this his way of getting that break he needed? Well deserved. I'm not saying he's carrying the AEW by himself, because you have MJF that does what he has to do. But Moxley, man, he's been doing his part to make AEW what it is. And I can't imagine that boy being not being tired. So maybe it is I'm sure it's a work. I hope he doesn't have major concussions for real. But
going on, Wildcat.
But yeah, I mean, that match was an awesome match. I'm starting to like Hangman now a little bit more. So I think that to me that was a great match for sure. Just the energy those guys bring, huh? How about that? Them two alone with the energy, that place was up. That place was roaring last night. Yeah.
Yeah. No, those boys, I don't. Oh, you're doing it over on your private one. Never mind.
Who?
Your Facebook.
Oh, my Huge Pop Wrestling Facebook.
Yeah.
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 PWZ. Tired of seeing Moxley, same thing over and over. Yeah, man, I agree with that, but dude, he's I don't know, what he's doing is good for AEW. What he's doing, everybody stays and watches that. They don't get their popcorn, they don't get their coffee, they sit in there and watch that show, that Moxley stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's me. Maybe it's because I'm a Moxley fan. What's your take, Matt?
I love Jon Moxley. I liked him even when he was with WWE as Dean Ambrose. I mean, the guy works, and he is a workhorse for every promotion he's been part of. God dang it!
Right. I mean, PWZ. I see what you're saying. Hogan did it. My brother can tell you. We had that conversation about 3 months ago. Hogan is the same old. Leg drop, pump out, Hulk up, win. Leg drop, Hulk up, win. I get it. Moxley comes through the crowd. Moxley gets up. He does his badass stuff. But isn't that all wrestling something most of the time? If we want to be real about it.
Everyone, I mean, it's okay if you don't like Moxley, because and here's a question I'm going to ask PWZ. We can have a conversation about this, and I'm not going to be an asshole, I promise you. Who is your favorite wrestler? Like, who is the guy that, if you know that he's going to be on the screen that night, you're watching that match? I want to know who your guy is. Just asking. Right now, absolute must-see TV for you.
Be nice.
Huh?
Nothing.
If he says The Miz, I'm going to have
problems.
No, as far as
just what I'm just going to give PWZ, Rick DeSanto, great guy, great friend of mine, and on Facebook and stuff. And I got to give PWZ a shout out. They put out some good stuff.
Okay, now Bryan Danielson never puts on a bad match either. What's going on?
Come on, Jace. Hit the follow button, you guys. If you're new to the YouTube channel, hit the follow and subscribe button. That'd be great.
Bryan Danielson, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a fan of his, but I will say that he is the greatest, not greatest. He is the best current professional wrestler. He is a true professional wrestler. He is a guy who embodies professional wrestling. But if you're looking at technical wrestling, I'm gonna go on a limb, PWZ. I don't know you as well as Scott does. But I want to say this. They're two. It's like comparing apples to oranges, because Bryan Danielson is a technical wrestler. He is the embodiment of technical wrestling. Jon Moxley is just a guy who's going to get in there and beat your ass. It's just two separate things. You can't compare them. But I would rather see a brawl in the ring than a 45-minute long armbar.
And let's be real. If we're talking about boring or same stuff, I can honestly say, in my opinion, again, I'm just a casual fan, you see the same style of match with Bryan Danielson all the time as you do Mox. And I mean, and please, Matt will get a little bit hyped about this. MJF. I sat there in my chair last night and last Wednesday watching this unfold with MJF and his up and coming match with Danielson. Wasn't it a year ago when we seen him going up, having to go MJF to have to face Wardlow, and he had all these stipulations where he had to beat like 6 or 7 different matches. The same thing now we're going to see with MJF and Danielson. It's the same thing. It's just that it's their style. I'm not going to get bored with it. I'm just like, okay, same stuff.
In that situation, it's not MJF's fault.
No,
it's not. Creative's fault at that point.
Right. And
it's like they don't have anything else to do for them. It's like, but you did that last year. Shouldn't you be doing something else? Oh, exactly. I mean, PWZ, I agree. I like technical wrestling, but I know that Bryan Danielson is capable of having a brawling style match. He is the best wrestler in the world today for a reason. Because he can have multiple styles of matches. I just haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in a long time. He's always been, for last year, he's been a technical wrestler and not a brawler.
Right.
And
exactly, Wildcat. Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
But that's why pro wrestling is such a great thing, because it has something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will flip the script and go to the women's division. I don't like Bianca Belair over in WWE, but she is over like crazy. Everyone loves her. Just not my cup of tea. I think she's a great athlete, but I don't like her gimmick.
And I guess that goes back to what I said last week. Remember when you got all crazy on me? Charlotte Flair. Sure, I'm glad she's back.
I mean,
but I'm not a fan of her stuff.
This is the Charlotte Flair that we need, though.
You're right. Yeah, but I'm just not. It's just what your preference is like when it comes to that. When it comes to wrestling,
I don't like Bianca. She is a very talented woman. Mm-hmm. I just don't like her gimmick.
Right. Agreed.
And you could sit there and tell me all sorts of things about her, and I'll be like, yep, that's your opinion. And again, that's just that. And because I'm not gonna sit here and try to convince everyone why MJF is the greatest heel in the game today.
Right. I agree. No, he is. He's in as a heel. Yeah. I just don't. And like you, thank you for clearing that up, Matt. It's the storyline. It's what they do for him. It's the creative. It's not him that I'm bored with. That guy's funny as hell. I watch that guy every day. But they need a different way to do it. That's creative's fault.
All right, PWZ. I'm here for you. What you got? But so we saw Hangman win. We'll move on while he's typing. And the next thing you know, all about the boom, baby. Adam Cole's back.
That's
story time with Adam Cole, baby.
He looks good, dude. He looks good.
I thought for a split second when I was watching that segment that he was going to announce his retirement.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, don't. This isn't. Oh, he is 100% a heel. Because, I mean, Daniel Bryan, he's going against your boy.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing heelish things. Guarantee, I promise you in that Iron Man match, he will lie. He will do exactly what Eddie Guerrero used to do. He lies. I lie. I cheat. I steal. Promise you, he will do everything in the book of a heel to win that match. Promise you. It's not just. I mean, I cheer for heels. I do. I like the bad guys. Period. I think it started when Stone Cold was a heel. For me, DX, they were labeled heels. They were over. Just because the crowd cheers for them doesn't mean they're babyface. It means they're over with the crowd.
Yep.
NWO, they are still heels. NWO, you cheered for them.
I did.
And if you tell me you didn't, I'm going to call you a liar because they were cool, right? Mm-hmm. PWZ, I've been a fan since 1983 when I was 2 years old. I was watching wrestling. I've grown up through it. I've seen heels. And at a young age, I was like, oh, good guys. And then then my balls dropped and I decided, you know what? Heels are cool too. So I like NWO. I like DX. I like the Viper Randy Orton.
What about Roddy Piper?
Roddy Piper, one of the greatest heels of all time. I like them. They're entertaining. So yes, he is a heel. He isn't just because the fans cheer for him.
You're right. Personal opinions.
But I'm stating facts, though. They are written as a heel. They're factual. It's being facts, though. They are written as a heel. Were they not? Like everyone that I've mentioned, they are written as a heel.
I don't ever think MJF's character is going to get watered down. There's just no way. It's current.
Who said they're going to get watered? Who's going to get watered down?
Personal opinion. If fans start cheering heel like that, the gimmick becomes watered down. He's on fire right now. That boy's on fire.
He's got so much heat. When he goes to Comic Cons, this is why MJF is the greatest heel of this era. Period. If you walk through his line at Comic-Con or WrestleCon or wherever you go to meet him, and you said, yeah, I'm a big fan, he's going to look at you, and pardon my language, and say, fuck you. He's going to flip you off, call you a jackass, and everything. That, to me, that's what pro wrestling is missing. I want my pro wrestlers to go back to where they were in the 80s and 90s. And if Mike, if All for Wrestling's out there listening to me talk about this, him and I had a conversation similar to this earlier. What we have right now at the internet community has ruined pro wrestling. Because we know what their real names are. We know that they play video games on the internet, and you can go and watch them on like Adam Cole. He has a Twitch channel. You can go watch him play Call of Duty or whatever he plays. I want pro wrestlers to be characters again. I want them to be like, I don't want dirt sheets anymore.
Right.
I want to be able to sit here in 2 weeks and watch the Royal Rumble and be like, all right, who's coming out next? But I can't do that because
you're going to know by the beginning of that week who's going to be number 30 because it's going to be all over the pages. Yeah, you're right. It ruins it.
All right, let's move on. I could spend all day going back and forth. And he's fixing to turn me heel in a second because
Stone Cold, there's no way. I mean, when that glass break,
how the hell can you? He's over to this day. If he were to come through those curtains right now, tomorrow night, the whole arena would be just go nuts.
Yep.
I mean,
anyway, so Adam Cole comes out for story time. And we're all thinking he's gonna retire, and he ends it with a warning to the backstage. You know, that segment, in my opinion, was a absolute A+ banger.
That was next to the next to how do I want to say it? Next to the last match of the night, it was the best segment of the night.
Yeah. I mean, his quotes, I pulled up some quotes. I have given you nothing for 6 months, but you were still there for me. For that, I am eternally thankful and grateful. Thank you. The bad news is not for me. The bad news is for the AEW locker room because Adam Cole is back. I'm not going anywhere. And that crowd popped when he said that.
Almost as bad. Almost as yeah.
That was a great segment. I mean, you're right. Other than the last match. So
and see now, I'm not saying this because, and I'm not picking on Daniel Bryan, but I thought the match that Hook and Jungle Boy had against
Big Bill and Lee Moriarty.
Yeah, I thought, in my opinion, I can see Jungle Hook being WWE or AEW Tag Team Champions.
Yes,
those boys went.
Yep,
they put on a great match. I enjoyed that match. I sat there. I'm like, holy shit!
Right.
Jungle Hook. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Hook boys. I don't.
Yeah, that's good.
Danhausen.
Can you imagine he could be their manager? That'd be badass. That'd be sick.
We got Hookhausen.
Jungle Hook.
Jungle Boy.
But that was a good match, you know. AEW did not put on a bad show.
And then the last match was.
Well, are you gonna talk about the Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, Kanoska, take a shitta? I didn't realize. I thought MJF was bullshit when he said that. Now look at his name. Take a shitta. Yeah, that was excellent.
I loved it when he looked at Freddie Prinze Jr. and he's all like, "Yeah, you Scooby Dooby douchebag."
That was awesome. He picked on him. He insulted Ken Young too.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you guys come on. You guys can't jump in the ring. That's those celebrity interactions. Keep it outside the ring. Don't jump in the ring.
MJF doesn't have the balls to go after my boy David Arquette, though.
No, you don't. But no, I loved it when MJF ran up the ramp.
He got out of there quick, fast, and in a hurry.
That rub was god awful. I was like, yeah.
And if that doesn't scream heel, I don't know what does.
Right. Absolutely. So we got to see Saraya and Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker.
Return.
All I gotta say is I get to meet Jamie Hayter in February. That's about all I know about that.
I'd like to meet Jamie Hayter.
Don't be a hater. Anyway,
so that ladder match at the end, just one spot after another from those guys, and holy shit. We talked about this on the phone earlier. That one winged angel off the top was
sick as hell.
It's like, are you kidding me?
I mean, Omega, how do I put this there? I wasn't a complete fan of Omega. I got his Funko Pop, but he put on a stellar match. And that one winged angel off the top of that ladder, hello. That was sick. That was impressive.
So he's had, in a matter of 2 weeks, he's put on 2 of the best matches of the year. That match with Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom 17.
Yep.
And then last night, some of those spots he had were nuts.
Yep.
And
agreed.
I was impressed. Absolutely impressed.
Right. Well, I see the results. I watched the results, and I knew you were sleeping by that time. But what does that do for Pac and Phoenix and Penta?
Well, they had
are they going to separate? You think down the road? Do you think Penta and Phoenix will stay together, or do we think are you going to see the implosion of that group, or will it just go away?
I think they're always going to have. They got to keep them together because there's no other, like, who are you going to put out there? The trio of Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho, and Jake, I love my hat, Hager.
God, if they do that, dude, I just read this. I cannot believe Hager said this. I'm going to slap your face all over your face. I'm like, what the fuck? What is that?
I'm going to slap your face all over your face.
And then Stark's response was like, what? Slap your face. What? Now, that's what you do. That's what AEW doesn't need to do. They can give people that know what they're doing the mic freely. But when you have a guy that don't know what the hell he's talking about and bad on the mic, don't give him free reign.
How painful was that spot that they had with Danhausen and Jake Hagar? How painful was that? It's like, I love that hat. I really like this hat. I like this hat. Yes, you like this hat. Like,
Ricky Starks. Go ahead, Matt. I'll let you.
He's the next big thing. He is the next big thing.
100%.
He
reminds me a lot about the Young Rock.
Yeah, he is.
I mean,
like, he's great on the mic. He just needs to mature a little bit more. He needs a little bit more. He needs to get more under his belt. That's what he needs.
I say he's champion by beginning of 2024.
If not
before.
I think
because they gotta give MJF a big run. I'm sorry, as much as I was not a big MJF fan, I think they need to give him his share.
I think let's see. And if you don't let him, hear me out. I think his next feud for Ricky Starks should be a good program with Darby Allin for the TNT Championship.
I agree with that. That's a good one.
Or you put him in the same ring, or you let him have a run with the Mid-Atlantic Championship. Take that off of Orange Cassidy.
That would be two good ones. But I think eventually you got to give him the main shot.
Oh, yeah. You have to at some point. He had it earlier. He couldn't get the job done the first time.
Right.
So but... So, yeah, we had...
Yeah.
We really... without going into way too many details about these matches, because I'm sure everyone watched it last night. That's why I don't like going into deep diving into these and really picking apart these matches, because I'm not a professional wrestler, nor am I someone who is a former professional wrestler. And I think most people have already watched these matches, and I don't want to bore you guys.
Right.
So I give my opinions, and most of the time your opinions are different, which just means that they're wrong, because my opinions are better than yours, and you know it. So, and if you don't know, and if you didn't understand,
I'm better than you, and you know it.
And if you didn't know that was a work, then you're more of a mark than you look like. Anyway, so this is the section part of the show that we call on this day in wrestling history, where we talk about what happened on this day in wrestling history. It's right in the friggin' title.
Really? I didn't know. I mean,
yeah.
So
in 1994, we had on a taping of WWF Superstars, we had the Steiner brothers and the Quebecers fought to a time limit draw in a WWF tag team title match.
Yeah.
And in 1998, we had Kevin Nash and Scott Hall defeated the Steiner brothers for the WCW World Tag Team titles in the main event of Nitro, live from Jacksonville.
How soon after that did the Steiner brothers, didn't they break up for a while?
Yeah. You're gonna get real tired of me saying that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was they left around the time was that Crow Sting started showing up.
Okay. That's my favorite part of Sting right there. That's when I started loving that guy.
In 1998.
Okay.
On the go-home edition of WWF Raw for the Royal Rumble, from State College, Pennsylvania, Mark Henry turned heel and joined the Nation of Domination during a tag team match with Ken Shamrock against The Rock and D'Lo Brown.
Damn.
No.
No, just kidding. We are the Nation
of Domination. Also, Vince McMahon teased Mike Tyson's involvement at WrestleMania 14 in Boston. In addition, the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, were awarded the NWA Tag Team Championship that night on Raw.
Nice.
I can slow down if I need to. Let me know. In 1999, China defeated Mr. McMahon in an arm wrestling contest. Again, I quote, arm wrestling contest.
Armbar.
That's good shit right there.
Best for business.
That's good shit right there, pal. Anyway, in 2001, Rhino. Yeah, Rio. I'm pretty sure, I don't know. Never mind. Rhino retained the ECW World Heavyweight title against the Sandman in the main event of EC show in Poplar, Missouri.
There you go.
2002, Triple H defeated the undisputed WWF champion Chris Jericho by countout at a WWF house show in Lubbock, Texas. This was one of Triple H's first matches after his return to action since his quad injury. When he came back all jacked. Also, Stone Cold Steve Austin beat Booker T in a no DQ match.
Was that during his watered down days?
Yeah. In 2002, yeah.
Yeah.
According to PWZ, that was when he was watered down. So, this match took place at a few weeks after the infamous grocery store brawl segment between Austin and Booker T on SmackDown. And I'm going to point out, too, he wasn't watered down at that point either, because to this day, you can say Stone Cold and people will still go, what?
I'm just messing, man. PWZ, I'm just messing, bro.
I'm not, because I'm better than you and you know it. I'm
better than you, and you know it.
So yeah. I'm scrolling through these. There was no birthdays. No birthdays today.
No birthdays today.
But that sums it up. And there's something that I don't know if I need to make this a weekly deal. But if you see
okay, so I'm gonna chime in on that. In the Stone Cold era, in the Stone Cold whatever, and still today, I pop when you hear the breaking of the glass. I'm sorry. Any segment that he's in, it's gonna be A, funny as hell, B, exciting, and everybody gets involved and everybody gets into it.
what?
You're right. They still, even when he's not in the building, they still chant what? The other day I was watching NXT or something and they had R-Truth on there.
What?
And it's just everywhere.
What?
That guy is not. He's the. I don't want to say he's a goat, but that guy is never going to be forgotten. Never. You're never going to forget him. You're never going to forget The Rock. As painful as I'm going to say this, you're never going to forget this. Hold on. You're never going to forget this. You're not. Or this. Bow to the masters. You won't forget it. Break it down. And so I say that, I don't know, everything that guy does or did. Shit, I even watched his show, the Stone Cold Steve Austin boot camp thing, because that's just how good he is.
There wasn't a segment there. Okay, statistically speaking, I'm going to throw this out there. Statistically speaking, when he was on TV every week, his segment for that week on the show that he was on is statistically the highest rated segment every week.
Yeah, 20 after Matt. I don't know what time you got to go to school.
So I'm going to bid you adieu, but I got to improve on my impression. Andrew said it was okay. So we're going to go ahead and lower the microphone. Weighing in today at 235.5 pounds, hailing from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Mr. Anderson. Wait for it. Anderson. And just so you know, I'm better than you, and you know it.
All my dogs, make some noise up in this house.
Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your head is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit.
Hey, PWZ, I will definitely be there. I think you've opened up the wrong can of worms, bro. My brother, if you can see this, Matt, put your headset back on. You can read this. We were invited to PWZ's show to have the long debate on the topic. We'll be there, man. Send me an invite.